Today's episode of Aquatic Wetline is brought to you by Oasis Aquatics. Find your Oasis today. Find your next fish at oasisaquaticsnj.com. Check out Oasis Aquatics on Facebook and Instagram.
Welcome to Friday Live with Aqua Alex Cardinale. Friday Live with Aqua Alex is a fish keeping live stream that offers something for every fish keeper. At least 3 different species of fish will be discussed. There will be a special fish keeping guest. And so much more. Friday Live is proudly brought to you by Oasis Aquatics. Find your Oasis today by going to oasisaquaticsnewjersey.com.
Every Friday night.
What better way to rock than this?
Hey, can you turn that down? Never!
Don't see that every day.
Do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough, no. Do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough, no. Know what day I was born? Sit around and wait for you. Do that. So sad that you're leaving. Takes time to believe it. But after all is said and done, you're gonna be the only one. Oh, do you believe in life?
Happy Friday, fish keepers! Welcome to Friday Live with me, Aqua Alex Cardinale. Tonight I have an incredible show coming your way. Tonight we welcome our first featured fish keeping guest. My friend and Central American cichlid lover, Jeremy Leighty, will be here tonight to talk about one of my favorite Central American cichlid species. Jeremy and I will talk about Parachromis cichlids, such as the jaguar cichlid and the Dovi cichlid. I, Aqua Alex, am going to talk about some fish that represent the United States of America, and I will talk about my top 5 favorite Central American cichlids. My featured fish tonight is the Trimac cichlid. My featured South American fish is the Hassar Orestis, also known as the black-tip mouse catfish. My featured saltwater fish is the Sailfin Tang. The Oasis Aquatics featured fish is the Tigrinus catfish. And my amazing fish tonight is my true Parrot cichlid. All that and more right now here live on Friday Live with Aqua Alex. I hope all the fish keepers had a great 4th of July yesterday, and I hope you're ready for an exciting Independence weekend, which all kicks off right now here on Friday Live with Aqua Alex Cardinale and Jeremy Leighty. Jeremy and I will be talking about Parachromis cichlids momentarily. But let's start this week's episode off with Aqua Alex Asks You. I've got 3 questions that I'm asking you, and you can post your answers in the comments down below. So here are the questions that I am asking you. Question 1. What are your fish keeping summer plans? Question 2. What is your favorite fish keeping memory? And question 3. What would be your best advice for a new aquarium hobbyist? Post your answers down in the comments below. So I'm going to start the show by answering these questions. What are my fish keeping summer plans? Well, my first fish keeping summer plans has to do with my 125-gallon aquarium behind me. In my 125-gallon aquarium, I am going to do an American cichlid tank. Right now, I have a Parachromis maniguense. I've got a couple of Severums and a true Parrot cichlid. I'm thinking about adding a Texas cichlid and maybe a couple other Central Americans. Like maybe I'll try a Amphilophus and Parachromis together, but we'll see. I'm also going to add some silver dollars, maybe some red hooks, and a unique oddball fish, like a biker most likely. And then once that's done, I'm going to turn my attentions to one of my dream aquariums that I've always wanted to do, and I'm going to create my very first African cichlid aquarium. So those are my fish keeping summer plans. What is my favorite fish keeping memory? That is a really good question. I would say my favorite fish keeping memory to date is when I first set up my saltwater aquarium and I got my first saltwater fish. And what would be my best advice for a new aquarium hobbyist? Take your time, research everything. Don't rush into buying fish. Do your research on Google, learn everything you can about the aquarium hobby, and don't be afraid to ask questions. So go ahead and post your answers to those questions in the comments right now. All right. Our first segment of the evening is going to be the Oasis Aquatics featured fish. And this week, we're going to feature the Tigrinus catfish here on Friday Live.
So my name is Tom. I started fish keeping when my grandfather dug a fish tank out of the attic when I was about 5 years old.
So my name's Matt. I'm part of Oasis Aquatics. Been doing this for a long time. Started when I was about 7 years old. 22 years of doing this business.
I'm 29 years old now. I never stopped. There wasn't a day in between where I did not think about fish keeping.
I was doing a vet tech job for many years. Eventually I stopped that because this is my passion in my life.
Matt and I have known each other far too long, as many friendships should be.
And you're like, you know what? We need a fish store. There's no fish stores around here. So we had to make it easy access for everyone, to have many varieties from the little small stuff for everyone to the monster fish keeper people.
No matter what it is that you're looking to do, we can provide it for you.
This week's featured fish from Oasis Aquatics is one of Aqua Alex's favorite South American catfish he has yet to keep. Keyword is yet. This week we are featuring the Tigrinus catfish. The Tigrinus catfish is also known as the zebra shovelnose. Looking for a Tigrinus catfish?
We have them in stock right now at about 6 to 7 inches.
Check out our stock list at oasisaquaticsnj.com. Now let's learn about the Tigrinus catfish. The Tigrinus catfish, aka Brachyplatystoma tigrinum, also formerly described as Merodontotus tigrinus, originally from South America in the Amazon River basin.
Renowned to be one of the most beautiful catfish available, these are both rare and highly sought after.
A remarkably patterned large-growing predatory catfish, the true Tigrinus catfish is found throughout the middle Amazon in Brazil and Peru, where it is a prized food fish. Juvenile fish are grayish at first, developing their distinct striping pattern as they grow. Tigrinus catfish tend to be found in fast-moving stretches of murky water, and they rely on their sensitive barbels much more than their limited eyesight to find prey. In the aquarium, they prefer dim lighting, ample hiding places, and pristine water quality. Maintaining high levels of dissolved oxygen is especially important. Tigrinus catfish grow up to 2 feet in length, would thus require an aquarium of at least 125 gallons and larger, the larger the better. In the wild, Tigrinus eat smaller fish and invertebrates, and in the home aquarium, you can feed them raw market shrimp, chopped fish pieces like tilapia, earthworms, krill, etc. Clean water is a must for these guys.
Have superb filtration and good water quality, do those water changes.
Tank mates for the Tigrinus catfish could include datnoids, freshwater stingrays, silver dollars, arowana, oscars, other catfish, like the lima shovelnose, and other large-growing fish. Just be careful not to mix them with any nippy fish, as they can nip at the nice trailers they get as they mature. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Tigrinus. Check them out today at OasisAquaticsNJ.com. Join our Facebook group. Yep.
We like fish keeping.
All right, that is this week's featured fish for Oasis Aquatics. If you're looking for a Tigrinus catfish, just go to OasisAquaticsNJ.com and pick up a Tigrinus catfish at a great price. Right now, we're going to welcome Aqua Alexa to the show. And Aqua Alexa has some information and important facts on aquarium filtration. Aqua Alexa, take it away.
Aqua Alexa here, kicking off your 4th of July weekend. I'm going to give you some important information on filtration systems and what you need to know about filtrations for aquariums. Listen up and listen good so you can hear it clearly. Filters are essential for the health of your aquarium. They keep the nitrogen cycle going and help keep your tank inhabitants healthy. Filter media is anything placed in a filter that changes the quality of water flowing through it. Specific types can be used to create custom environmental conditions in your aquarium. What types of filter media are there? The 3 main types of filter media are mechanical, biological, chemical. What is mechanical media? Mechanical filter media removes unsightly particles from the aquarium, including fish excrement, sludge, uneaten food, or dust. Aquarium water is passed through a mechanical filter media, and the particles are strained out. To prevent buildup, the filter media must be cleaned regularly. The components of mechanical media are inert. This means that the material this media is made of will do nothing to interfere with your water chemistry. This media mechanically, or physically, strains solids from water passing through it, which is vital for the efficiency of your biological media. It simply needs to be cleaned. Replacement is only required when it can no longer release all the dirt that it holds. Mechanical media is available in many different porosities, which control the size of the particulate that you can extract. The larger the pores in the mechanical media, the larger the particulate matter must be in order for the filter to extract it. This type of coarse media is easier to clean and reuse than finer media. The pores in the finest mechanical media strain out particles as tiny as 1 micron, which is 1/90th the diameter of a human hair. The finest media will clarify the aquarium, but will clog very quickly, and may not be reusable. What is biological media? Biological media is anything inert that provides housing for nitrifying bacteria that break down nitrogenous pollutants to a less toxic form. This is a media that should not be replaced unless it has become too clogged to function. How does biological media filtration work? To understand this media, first we must understand how nitrifying bacteria thrive. Environment above 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Need ammonia or nitrite as food source. Need oxygen for life. Nitrifying bacteria extract oxygen from water moving by them. If particulate matter gets into the media and decreases water flow, it starves that area of oxygen and food, causing nitrifying bacteria to die in that area. This is why mechanical media is suggested before biological media. When the bio load increases, the abundance of ammonia and nitrite causes the bacteria to reproduce. Nitrifying bacteria that consume ammonia reproduce quickly, until the ammonia level drops to 0. Sometimes, they overproduce and cause a bacteria bloom, that gives the aquarium a cloudy or smoky appearance. Once the correct number of bacteria have grown to overcome the ammonia spike, the excess bacteria starve and die, and the cloudy tank water disappears. In an established aquarium, a bacteria bloom is less likely to happen, and any ammonia spikes may be gone in 24 hours, often before you even have time to test for it. In new aquariums, the time the ammonia takes to be converted by bacteria depends on the amount of fish load and bacteria. A useful source of bacteria is a scoop of surface gravel from an established healthy aquarium or some biomedia from the filter, as long as the aquarium hasn't been treated with medications or other chemicals. Another choice is a bacteria additive. Once the bacteria have become established in the biological media, they are difficult to destroy, except by overcleaning, using chlorinated water, or using certain medications. As the ammonia-eating bacteria consume ammonia, they give off nitrite, and then in come the nitrite-eating bacteria. These bacteria are slower to reproduce, preferring to wait until ammonia levels are zero. A variety of media is available for housing bacteria. Small biological media are extremely porous and boast incredible surface areas. They can accommodate a lot of bacteria in a small space. They also can get clogged easily and lose their effectiveness quickly if inadequate mechanical filtration is used. Smaller media last 2 to 4 years and are an excellent option if you have a limited amount of space in your filter. Plastic media, such as bioballs, do not have the extensive surface area, but they are unlikely to clog and never need replacing. It is easy to see why aquarists insist on a minimum of biological and mechanical media for filtration. They work in harmony and help keep a healthy, balanced, and reliable ecosystem. Chemical media such as polyfilter are effective at removing a variety of impurities such as copper, chlorine, dissolved proteins, medications, or tap water impurities by binding these unwanted materials and trapping them within the media. Activated carbon, resins, and other adsorbent chemical media bind and remove dissolved particulates from the water column through the process of adsorption. The two most popular forms of chemical media are activated carbon and resins. What types of chemical media are there? Activated carbon. Activated carbon is filled with microscopic pores that cause certain organic or inorganic materials to stick to them. Fresh carbon works more efficiently than older carbon. When all the pores are filled, the carbon is no longer effective. Carbon removes many harmful elements from your aquarium, such as copper, chlorine, dissolved proteins, and carbohydrates. It also removes sulfa drugs and antibiotics, so it should be removed when the aquarium is being medicated, then replaced when treatment is completed to remove any leftover medications. Activated carbon is also extremely efficient at removing water discoloration. In other words, activated carbon can eliminate unsightly murky or cloudy tank water conditions, making your aquarium look so clear that you'll question whether water is still in it. Ion exchange resins. These filter media are less utilized than carbon but are becoming more popular. These work by attracting a specific molecule to adhere to them. Some attract ammonia or nitrate, and some remove dissolved organics. Ion exchange resins are also utilized in some carbon mixtures like Chemi Pure. The resins often strengthen the filtering ability of the carbon, as well as help biological activity by removing pollutants before they enter the nitrogen cycle. Used properly, chemical filtration can be one of the most useful tools of the aquarist. That's my lecture on filtration systems. Hope you found it useful. Next week, I will discuss the benefits of having aquariums.
Thank you, Aqua Alexa, for those amazing facts on filtration. Filtration in the aquarium hobby is very important. All right, moving along. It is now time for this week's featured fish. It is time for this week's Aqua Alex featured fish. And this week I am featuring a cichlid from Central America. It's another Central American cichlid. And this week it is the Trimac cichlid, Amphilophus Trimac. Now you may notice that the Trimac looks very similar to the flower horn, but the Trimac is actually 100% natural. It's a naturally occurring fish and is not a hybrid. It is a fish that occurs in the wild. So here is some information on the Trimac cichlid. You'll find the Trimac cichlid in Mexico and Central America. It is also known as the three-spot cichlid. It has a green or yellow hue base with distinct spots on its side. The male is much larger than the female, and the male Trimac can get up to 15 inches in length. They have longer, more pointed fins and a large red spot behind his gills. The female Trimac is smaller growing. They only grow up to 9 to 10 inches, and they have a less dominant red spot. The male may also grow a nuchal hump when mature, like most cichlids. The Trimac cichlid is found in slow-flowing stretches in the lower river valleys of the rivers of the Pacific slope of Central America from Mexico to Panama, where there is a muddy or sandy substrate. It is found among the roots and weeds there. It has been found as an introduced species in Florida and Nevada, but these populations were extirpated. Now, the Trimac feeds mainly on small fish and inverts, including both aquatic and terrestrial insects. So in the aquarium hobby, they will eat small fish, they will eat inverts, so you should not have a hard time feeding a Trimac cichlid. They will eat just about anything you offer them, but they are super aggressive, so choose your take mates wisely. Things like tinfoil barbs, silver dollars, and other Central American cichlids may be able to work. The Trimac cichlid grows up to 14 inches in length. They are super aggressive, and they require a large aquarium, at least 125 gallons and up. Now, last Friday, I went to Mark's Ark, and as you guys know, as you guys saw on the 100th episode of Saturday Live last Saturday, I picked up a jaguar cichlid. But Mark's Ark also had a very nice, large Trimac cichlid. They are absolutely beautiful. They look better than a flower horn, and they're more natural. They're a naturally occurring fish, unlike the flower horn. So they're very beautiful. If you're thinking about getting a flower horn, why not give the Trimac a shot? Because they're 100% natural, and you'll find them in the wild. Anyway, here is a video of the beautiful Trimac cichlid. So as you can see, the Trimac is a very beautiful Central American cichlid. Later on in the show, Aqua Alex, I'm going to talk about the black-tip mouse catfish and the Sailfin Tang, and I'm going to show off my true parrot cichlid a little later on in the show. My friend Jeremy Stellhorn is in the house, and he has some answers to my questions that I'm asking tonight. Jeremy says, keep the fish I have happy and healthy and take Fry into the program for the club. He doesn't know what his favorite fish keeping memory is, and he says his best fish keeping advice for beginners is to save and buy the supplies you need for the fish that you want. Really good answer, Jeremy. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're having a great evening, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Be aware. Be very aware. Don't enter the water. On Saturday, July 13th, 2024, Alex Cardinale presents Shark Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale in honor of Shark Week. If you are a shark lover like Alex, you will enjoy this episode of Saturday Live. On Shark Saturday Live on July 13th, 2024, at 9 p.m. Eastern 6 p.m. Pacific, come learn about bull sharks, hammerhead sharks, and great white sharks. Get information on these 3 sharks and see videos of them in the ocean. How dangerous are sharks? Do they actually pose a threat to humans? This will be discussed also. What do you do if you are suddenly attacked by a shark? Alex will have the answer. It's the 2nd annual Shark Week on Saturday Live, and it's live Saturday, July 13th, 2024, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on YouTube channel The Real Alex Cardinale.
Ooh, it's almost time to get sharky. Shark Week begins next Friday on Friday Live, and it concludes next Saturday on Saturday Live. But that is Shark Week, which is next week. Now, as you guys know from last Saturday's 100th episode, I got a new fish in honor of celebrating 100 episodes. I picked up a new Jaguar cichlid. Now, it's been 1 full week that I've had this Jaguar cichlid, and he is doing incredibly well. I got him to finally eat on Wednesday, and he is eating raw market shrimp, tilapia, and now krill. So I'm glad he is eating. So right now it's time to give an update on my new Jaguar cichlid, and then we're going to welcome our special guest, Jeremy Leighty, to the show, who is going to talk to us about Parachromis. So here's a quick update on my personal Jaguar cichlid. Here is an update video on my Jaguar cichlid that I got last Friday. He is doing really well. He just started eating this past Wednesday. He ate some tilapia and raw market shrimp. He's trying to become the tank boss right now, fighting with my male rock-keel Severum, who was previously the aggressor in this aquarium. But as you can see now, the Jaguar has become the tank boss. So he's been doing really well. Very beautiful. He likes to hide in the back now. So really good purchase. I'm proud of purchasing this Jaguar. This is my beautiful orange Xingu pike, one of my dream pikes, and I finally have it. My male rock-keel Severum and my male Maniguensin cichlid. These two have to learn to get along, hopefully. Here's my. All right, now it's time to welcome our very first featured fish keeping special guest. Let's welcome Jeremy Leighty to the show, and now let's learn about Parachromis. It's time for this week's special guest featured fish keeper. And this week I am welcoming a good friend of mine and an awesome fish keeper to the show. Today we're welcoming Jeremy Leighty to the show, and we're going to be talking about Parachromis. Parachromis are our favorite Central American cichlids. Jeremy, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I am doing amazing. I'm excited because I'm talking about one of my favorite Central American cichlids today. Well, actually, a whole group of them.
Yeah, the Parachromis are some awesome fish.
They're very beautiful. My favorite is the Managuensin or the Jaguar cichlid.
Yeah, those were actually the first Parachromis, and back then I believe they were under Nandopsis when I first kept those. Late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, they're very beautiful, especially the Honduras ones.
Yeah, that's the strain I had originally, was the Hondurans, and then later on some from Nicaragua.
Dovies are pretty cool too, but they're too aggressive.
You know, aggressive, that could be, how do I want to put it? I guess that's in the eye of the beholder, you know, because it can be managed to an extent, you know. You just gotta either have a really large aquarium or do what I do, which is keep mine separate. What's that?
So what's your favorite Parachromis species?
I don't necessarily have a favorite. I like them all equally. You know, a lot of it has to do with I enjoy Dovi just because of the, you know, the coloration, and, you know, they fit my personality a little better than some other fish. You know, they're confident. So, you know, it's a very rewarding fish to keep. But right now, if I had to pick one, ideally I would say the Parachromis multifasciatus laceba variant, just because in my experience they don't seem to grow as large. They're a little less aggressive than some of the other ones, and overall they're, in my opinion, their breeding coloration is top notch, and, you know, they're like up there for me.
That's very cool. So what do you?
How about yourself? What's your favorite?
Well, my favorite would be the Honduran Managuensin.
The Honduran Managuensin. Right now I have Parachromis dovi, the Costa Rican variant. I have Parachromis friedrichstahli, and then I have Parachromis multifasciatus. I don't have any Managuensis at this time. I did have some, but I no longer have those. I've been looking for some more, but haven't seemed to find any. It seems like they're a gold variant, and I want the silver and black.
Yeah, that's the kind that I'm looking for too. I'm looking for a nice Honduras one.
Yeah, there was a gentleman, I don't know if you're familiar with Dan Sharifi, but from what I understand, he's no longer in retail, or at least that's what I had been told. So I'm still trying to find some in my area, and if everything goes as planned, hopefully I'll be able to hit not OCA, the A.C.E. this year, which is down in Cincinnati next month. So I'm hoping to be able to attend that, but that's going to be contingent on work and some other variables that need to fall into place.
Nice, that's awesome. I'm hoping for my birthday I can find a nice jaguar cichlid.
Yeah, they're out there, and just finding them is is the thing, because it seems to me that Central Americans have fallen somewhat out of favor and being replaced by Africans. Africans seem to be everywhere, but Central Americans can be a little more challenging to find, which in my opinion is just as much fun looking for the fish as it is actually keeping them.
That is true. People say I should go collect one here in South Florida, but I'd rather have a Honduras one. They're beautiful.
Oh yeah, the ones out of Honduras they're probably my favorite Managuens. They're stunning. Years ago, I had a strain that was wild caught. I was told I can't verify with 100% accuracy, but I was told by the person that I had gotten them from that and that strain was entered into back in the mid 90s, my local aquarium society, which is Lorain County Aquarium Society, had hosted the FAS, the Federation of American Aquarium Societies convention here in Lorain, Ohio. And I entered mine, which it didn't place. It got kind of like an honorable mention. Unfortunately, my fish was pitted up against the great showman, rest his soul, Ron Giorgione, who was just a master fish showman. His fish are unbelievable. Lost to the best in class for that year happened to be a Pierce eye.
Nice. Those are beautiful cichlids too.
Yeah, Ron's was something to behold. That fish was probably at least 14 inches long, probably 3 or 4 inches thick, and a good 10 inches tall. It was a beast of a fish. And the colors on it were just unreal. I've never seen one before or after that could compare to that thing, and it was stunning.
I think a nice male dovey is actually beautiful too.
Yeah, personally, I like the males. I love their attitude and their coloration. In my opinion, I think the females are a little nicer than the males, at least in the dovey. I like that bright yellow and the contrast with the black they get. Some of those teals and greens that show off in the tail. And in the dorsal and anal fin, they're just beautiful fish all the way around.
Yeah, doveys are pretty cool.
Do you currently keep any? Excuse me?
I wonder if doveys can have any tank mates.
I think that comes down to you have to have a very, very large tank in order to pull that off, because it seems like even into the 180s and 240s, eventually the dovey will get large enough and territorial enough that it's just gonna wreak havoc, and if it can't defeat its enemies, it might end up getting taken out in the process. And is it really worth doing that to either one of the fish? But I have seen them kept with other fish. Like Ohio Fish Rescue used to have a gigantic dovey in their what they call the pool pond, the monster pond. That fish must have been 2 feet long at least, and just massive. But it seemed to get along well, probably because their pond is the size of a room. So I believe it's 58,000 gallons. So that's a lot more space than say a couple 100-gallon home aquarium.
That's true. Yeah, I've always wanted to keep dovies, but I never can find them.
Really? Maybe are they legal to be kept? You're in Florida, correct?
Yeah, they're legal here. I see them every once in a while, but only like inch long babies.
Oh yeah, because if you were closer, I know a bunch of people who have dovi right now, babies. I could have them, but I'm afraid that my male would kill the female I have because she's significantly smaller than he is, and he's been alone now for 14 years, maybe 15 years, something like that. So I don't know that it would be a good idea to try and introduce him to a female. And at this point, I don't even know if he would still be able to produce. So he just stays by himself.
He's happy that way.
Yeah, he's definitely a character. It's, people talk about fish becoming pets and stuff like that. I definitely would say that dovi can be a great fish and interactive with their owners, especially if you get them as a young one like you were talking about in the 1 inch range. And because I don't know if it's necessarily imprint or it recognizes you, whatever, but they'll definitely interact with their owners. Like mine, for example, certain people, when they come over, he doesn't like them, so he goes and hides in his cave. And other people, like when my grandchildren are over, he flares up and bites the glass, and it puts on a show for them when they're around. He's definitely a character.
That's cool. I wonder if they grew up with tank mates, if they'd be all right when they get to adulthood.
Once again, I think that would be something, you could try it, and as long as you're prepared to interact when and if trouble ever does arise, it would probably work out. I can't say either way, because in the past when I've tried it, it's always been other dovi growing out, and eventually it gets to the point that I either have to remove everything, or I've ended up getting rid of the whole colony to move on to something else. And I haven't bred them now in years. So I've been focused on the ones I have been trying to breed again are my Parachromis multifasciata, the Lacebas I mentioned. They're in conditioning right now, so I'm hoping to next rainfall do a big major water change when we get a thunderstorm, and hopefully get a mating out of them. That seemed to work the last time they bred.
Nice. So those are related to the red tiger motaguensis?
They're similar. They actually look more like, how do I want to put it? They look like miniature jaguars with more of, instead of being like silver, they're more of a greenish silver gold, maybe like almost like a tarnished brass color, and they get a bunch of black spots and lines, and they're a really nice fish. And when they get into their mating coloration, it's, I don't even know what the color would necessarily be. It's like an electric greenish gold with black. The black gets jet black, and they're stunning.
They sound beautiful.
Yeah, well, I can't say for 100% certainty because I'm not exactly sure, but I've heard in the past that they were once considered the Parachromis locelli, which then ended up being absorbed back into Parachromis friedrichsthalli. But you know, I'm not a expert as far as ichthyology goes and the classifications of it all. So, you know, I'll let the experts sort all that stuff out.
Now I recognize it. The Lucy.
But you're right, though. Yeah, there's those are a stunning fish too. If you've ever seen those, when they get that bright gold with the blacks, they're a very nice fish. And in my experience, they also don't grow as large as some of the other ones. You know, stay in a more reasonable, under a foot, at least in my experience. I mean, I'm sure other people may have different experiences, and you know, that's all part of fish keeping.
That's true. Yeah, I think the Dovi and the Jags are the largest growing Parachromis.
Yes, for sure. The Dovi, from what I've heard, can in the wild and even in very large aquariums possibly hit up to 3 feet. The biggest one I've ever personally seen was the one at Ohio Fish Rescue, and it was at least 24 inches. The biggest Managuense I've ever seen was probably pushing 18 inches and several pounds. As far as the red tigers, I used to have a big male that went to my friend because he's got a pond, and it went into his pond. He's got an 800-gallon pond in his basement. That fish was probably 12 to 14 inches. And the other ones, you know, as far as the locelli and the lacebas, those seem to stay under a foot, with the lacebas being the smallest of them all, at least in my experience.
That's cool. So how long have you kept Parachromis for?
I want to say that the first time I ever kept them was late 1980s, maybe early 1990s. That was when I found that first, at that point in time, they were calling them Aztecs, and they weren't even jaguars yet. That was a little, you'd hear them, but not as common as Aztec. And then jaguar came onto the scene, and I think that was a little more fitting, so that one stuck. You know, let's see, my Dovi, if I remember correctly, he hatched out in 2007. I used to have its parents, which those definitely came through Rusty Wessel's fish room. Those were Costa Rican. The parents were wild caught, so mine's an F1. And if I remember correctly, he hatched out in 2007. So what does that make him? 17 years old, something like that, 15, 16, somewhere around there. So I would say a minimum of 20 to 25 years that I've kept them.
Well, it's a long time.
Yeah, my hobby experience started back in the early 1980s. And, you know, for the first couple years of it, I was into the community fish. And then, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years into the hobby, I found convicts and Texans. And after that, it's been more or less nothing but Central American cichlids and snakeheads until we got into the place we're at now. And I have a little more room to set up some tanks and explore other options, which, you know, to me, I'm still fairly new, like the planted tanks. You know, I only got a couple years experience dabbling in those, but, you know, the Central American cichlids have, you know, they'll always have a place in my room.
Me too. I like the Central American cichlids. They have a lot of cool colors and such, and a lot of personalities.
Well, that's one of the main things for me is just personality. You know, I like fish that interact and have some gumption about them. You know. Excuse me?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was saying a nice doveye or a nice jaguar will be, I call them headbangers because they come up to the glass and bang on it.
Oh, yeah, mine does that all the time. That's how he lets me know when he's hungry, because whenever he's hungry, he won't bite at the glass any other time unless my grandchildren are over. But when he's hungry, he likes to come up and he'll start biting at the glass as soon as I walk into the room and swimming up. He'll like lay at a 45-degree angle, looking up at the surface, waiting to be fed. And then he eats and he kind of gives me a little bit of an attitude, and he goes back into his, I have some clay pipes in his tank, and he goes to hide in his clay pipes. Unless
cool.
When he really shows off is if I give him a treat of like shrimp or earthworm or something along those lines, you know, then he shows off a little bit. But sometimes he gets a little like, I think he gets tired of the pellets that I normally feed him, so he cops an attitude with me.
That's cool. So he's smart enough to tell you he wants something else.
Yeah, he's definitely very intelligent. You know, people sometimes tell me, "Oh, fish are dumb." You know, they don't know anything. I beg to differ. You know. Because they definitely, I believe that they can recognize faces, and I think they remember people who may have done something that they didn't like or whatever. Because, you know, like I said, when a certain friend of mine stops by, my doveye will hide. And other people that come over, you know, he shows off for them and comes out. But my one particular buddy, I don't know why he doesn't like him so much, but he just will not come out of the cave when he's in there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely something to see. You know, I never really paid much attention to it. It was my friend who said it. He's like, "Man, he just don't like me. He never comes out when I'm here." And the other fish, you know, they'll come out like even, you know, my friend likes to keep mostly small fish like the killifish and chili rasboras, stuff like that, nano fish. So, you know, when he comes over, he likes to feed my big fish because they're a little, you know, a lot different than feeding, say, you know, micro rasbora. So I'll give him the pellets and let him feed, and the doveye won't even come out when he feeds them.
He needs a microfied glass to see a small fish.
Strangest thing. Well, I kind of wonder if it doesn't have something to do with the tattoos, because my friend's all tatted up, so maybe something with the coloration of the tattoos maybe throws him for a loop. I don't know, but it's the strangest thing because he's the only one that he acts like that around. But after he had mentioned it to me, every time he comes over, sure enough, the fish will go directly into his hide, and he doesn't come out until Taro leaves.
It's funny how it works sometimes.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That's the one thing I love about Parachromis. They have a lot of personality and they're very unique.
Oh, they for sure have, you know, in my experience, for any hobbyist who wants to delve into some of the monster fish, Parachromis are great because they don't obtain some of the monster sizes like, say, an arapaima or you know, some of the big catfish. So, you know, if you got a couple 100-gallon aquarium, you could definitely keep and probably even breed Parachromis at home without breaking the bank as far as, you know, buying them, because they're all reasonably priced, at least in my area they are. So, you know, they're great fish to have, and they're colorful. They got great personalities. They're fairly easy to maintain, you know, as long as you do like you have to do with anything, you know, maintain your water quality, clean out your filters, you know, the average stuff that's involved with them.
And they're pretty affordable too, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be, depending on how large they are. If you buy them small, they're definitely reasonable. It seems like all of them, if you buy them at the 1-inch range, can be purchased for at most 15 to 20 bucks, even online, and, you know, shipping and handling, of course. But, you know, that could always be counteracted by doing a group purchase with some friends who also keep the thing, which is what we'll do a lot. Is, you know, a group of my friends and self, we'll get together. If one person's planning on doing a buy, reach out to everybody else in the group and, you know, to split the cost of shipping and handling, so everybody's happy. You know, we get our fish that we want, save a little bit of money, the seller gets to make a little more money, and everybody's happy.
That's awesome. So do you have plans of getting any more Parachromis?
Like I said, I've been looking for a Honduran jaguar. I've kept the red tigers. They kind of, to me, they seem a little too skittish, so I don't really work with those too much. I do like them, especially. I once had a group of those I had picked up at an auction, and I ended up with like 3 or 4 males, and a female. That female was one of the most beautiful fish I've ever had. You know, her face was bright red orange. Her whole body was that beautiful orange color they get. The male was nice too. He took on that like brassy color they get on their head, and, you know, he was a nice looking fish too, with the red fins. And he was something. But that female was, she was unbelievably beautiful.
That's awesome. I myself am looking to get a Honduran Maniguens too.
Yeah, if I happen to come across any, I'll definitely reach out to you and, you know, send you the information, because it's probably going to end up being an online option.
That's true, yeah.
I haven't personally checked out his site yet, but I had heard Cichlid Dojo out of, I believe he's in California. A friend of mine told me he had some, because he was buying some what do they call those? The Cubans, and Festes off of that gentleman.
Oh, nice. I'll check out Cichlid Dojo. They might have some.
Yeah, that guy's always got cool stuff. You could either, you know, check him out. I know he's on Facebook, because I've talked to him through there. He's also on YouTube. So, you know, there's definitely options. I don't know exactly what he has, because it's been a little while. I happen to, right now I'm just pretty much stacked up. So I got to kind of pick and choose carefully what I have, just to make sure I have room to keep it, because I'm pretty much, like I said, at maximum capacity in my fish room.
That's cool, though. I only have 1 tank right now, but I'm going to have a couple more in the future.
Well, let's see. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have 20 tanks going. three prefab ponds, and no, I'm sorry, 22 tanks. Because I got, yeah. Right now I'm running 22 tanks.
You put me to shame.
I had to think about that. Yeah, well, it's really not a competition, you know.
That's true. That's true.
So, you know, if some people, you know, unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, I was bitten by the multi-tank syndrome, and you know, some people are happy with just one tank, and if they're happy enjoying their hobby, you know, great. Regardless of what it is they're keeping, you know, some people, you know, some of my friends, even some established fish keepers, have come down and they're like, man, how do you do? Doesn't that take up all your time? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, it's not really a taking up time if it's something I enjoy, you know. It's relaxing to me to come down here, spend a little time with my fish, watch them clean their tanks, and interact with them, because yeah, maybe I'm personifying it, but it seems to me like they actually enjoy the interaction as well.
I think so too.
Because I've noticed that if I, like, because my children live out of my daughter and my grandchildren live in Kentucky, so sometimes we'll go out of state or maybe go on a vacation, whatever. And even just life, if I happen to not come down to the fish room for a couple days, my fish will kind of give me an attitude. It's like, maybe I'm imagining it, but it seems like they kind of shy away and try and hide if they don't see me for a few days. And of course, I could be imagining that too, you know.
That's true. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today and chatting Parachromis. I had a great time.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. On the next time, we could talk about red devils if you want, or Amphilophus if you want.
Sure. You want to do that now, or you want to do that on another show?
We could do that on another show if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's perfect. Just whenever you're ready. You know, I don't know what your plans are for the next couple things you got going on, but whenever works for you, just let me know and we'll make arrangements and we'll go from there. And we could talk red devils, we could talk Trimacs, we could talk them all, whatever, you know. I enjoy talking fish regardless of what fish we're speaking.
Sounds good. I figured you'd be my Central American guy.
Well, I don't know everything about them, but I have a little experience in them, and you know, I'm always willing to talk fish, and hopefully somebody might learn something, and I can learn from them as well, and we can make this hobby grow and be pleasurable for everybody for years to come, you know.
I agree. You have a good night now.
You as well. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. All right, that was our very first featured fish keeping guest, Jeremy Leighty. Thank you, Jeremy, for being a great guest and talking about Parachromis with us all. Jeremy will be back in a couple of weeks to talk about Amphilophus, red devils, and other fish species. Now let's get to our first topic here on Friday Live with Aqua Alex. And since it is 4th of July weekend, Independence Day weekend, right now I'm going to talk about fish species that I think represent the United States of America. So here are since the USA: bettas, Bettas are very resilient and bettas are very independent. So they definitely represent America. Texas cichlids. Texas cichlids are the only cichlid native to the United States of America. So they definitely represent the United States. Gars. Gars are a primitive ancient fish that are native to the United States of America. Then we have channel catfish. Channel cats live here in the United States. We've got peacock bass. Peacock bass were actually introduced to Florida for the people that like to go fishing. So now they're synonymous with the United States. Unfortunately, lionfish are synonymous with the United States now because they are taking over the beaches here and the oceans here in the United States. And then we've got the Atlantic stingray. The Atlantic stingray is one of a couple of stingray species that live in the United States of America. So those are fish species that I think represents the United States of America. All right, right now it is time for our second featured fish. And right now and this week I am for a unique catfish from South America. This week's catfish from South America is a very rare Dorotid catfish. It is known as a black tip or black top mouse catfish, aka the Hassar Orestis. So let's learn about the Hassar Orestis right now, shall we? They are widespread throughout much of northern South America. Populations have been recorded in Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Peru, and Brazil. Now, these are really cool Dorotid cats. They can get up to 7.5 inches, so not as large as a Niger cat, but they're still a pretty cool ripsaw catfish. Until acclimatized, the fish appears quite selective and they like small foods. Crushed flake or sinking flake-based tablets are best for smaller individuals, although brine shaken by species around the 2-inch mark. So juveniles around 2 inches and larger love brine shrimp. Larger, more settled fish are easier to feed and become very active during feeding. Dense vegetation empowers this fish with a much-needed sense of confidence in its surroundings. They appreciate caves or dark refuges. Now, take mates for the Hassar Orestis. This is a very non-aggressive catfish, and as with all Doradids, it is sociable with its own species. So they can live with smaller shoaling tetras, and they can also live with Corydoras. You can keep them with dwarf cichlids and gouramis. So they're a great community catfish, and they can live with fish like that. And they can also live with severums, walrus, etc. And that is the beautiful Hassar Orestis. I first came into contact with the black-tip mouse catfish in 2012 when I was volunteering at a local fish store that imported fish from South America, and that's how I saw them. They are a very unique looking catfish. Here is a video showing you how neat this catfish definitely is. It definitely is a look. And that is the beautiful black-tip mouse catfish. Well, this Sunday I am going to host American Sunday Live. It is this week's version of Saturday Live, but it takes place on Sunday because tomorrow we have Money in the Bank. Here's what you can expect on American Sunday Live this Sunday. Howdy, y'all. American Alex Cardinale here. It's my favorite time of year, Independence Day and 4th of July. I am hereby inviting you to check out American Sunday Live. American Sunday Live with Alex Cardinale airs Sunday, July 6th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. On American Sunday Live with Alex Cardinale on 4th of July weekend, Chef Alex is back, and Chef Alex will show you how to make red velvet cupcakes. WWE fan Alex Cardinale will be on the show, and WWE fan Alex Cardinale will recap that weekend's Money in the Bank event. Plus, Alex will have American topics, including American-made products and how America has evolved. The animal of the world will be the bald eagle. Aqua Alex will discuss fish that are native to the United States of America and more. It's the 4th of July American Saturday Live, except this year it's taking place on a Sunday. American Sunday Live with Alex Cardinale, July 6, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you as we celebrate 4th of July weekend. Yeehaw! All right, welcome back to this week's Friday Live with Aqua Alex. And right now, it is time for our featured aquarium product. And this week, I am featuring an aquarium product that I feel is very essential as a freshwater hobbyist. This week, I am featuring the API Freshwater Master Test Kit. Every enthusiast and every hobbyist should have this in their possession. I had one a while ago, but unfortunately it broke, but I'm definitely going to be picking up another one really soon because it's really important to test your water. Now, the API Freshwater Master Test Kit measures the 4 most important levels in freshwater aquariums quickly and accurately. It measures pH, high-range pH for those who keep African cichlids, ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. With scientific accuracy for professional results, the Freshwater Master Test Kit comes with 4 test tubes and a convenient holding tub for easy storage. The kit also includes a step-by-step instruction booklet with a color chart that provides information on how to correct unsafe water conditions. So this is by far the best freshwater test kit on the market. API Master Freshwater Kit, available on Amazon.com and at your local fish or pet store. So be sure to get one if you don't have one. I definitely will be getting one. All right. Next week, we have an amazing special guest coming on Friday Live with Aqua Alex. Tonight, we had a great guest, but next week's guest
Our
is
next
going to be
featured
great
fish
as
keeping
well.
special guest is also a fish keeping YouTuber. Jesse Klein from Sailfin Aquatics joins Aqua Alex Cardinale for a fun fish keeping discussion. How did Jesse get into the fish keeping hobby? What is his favorite fish? What is he keeping for fish? Find out live Friday, July 12, 2024, at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Friday Live with Aqua Alex. Get ready for a fun Friday night fish discussion with Jesse and Aqua Alex July 12, 10 p.m. on the Eastern side and 7 p.m. on the Pacific side.
That's going to be an awesome guest interview next Friday. All right, now it's time to learn about this week's featured saltwater fish, one of my favorite Tang species. This week, I am featuring the Sailfin Tang, a beautiful saltwater tang. It is related to the yellow tang, but it gets a lot larger. Now, the Sailfin Tang is found in the Pacific Ocean. The westernmost occurrence is around Christmas Island in the eastern Indian Ocean and the eastern coast of Indochina, and it extends eastward into the Pacific as far as the Pitcairn Islands and Hawaii, north to Japan and south to Australia. The sailfin tang is typically solitary, although they may be found in pairs. They graze on leafy algae. The sailfin tang is caught as a food fish. Fishermen use spears and fish traps. As it is larger than their cousins, the yellow tang and the scopus tang, it is of greater value as a food fish. It is also traded in the aquarium hobby. The sailfin tang is also known as the Eastern sailfin tang, Pacific sailfin tang, ring tang, purple line tang, Pacific sailfin tang, and other common names. They are indigenous to the Pacific Ocean and Western Indian Ocean. The sailfin tang is mainly found in rock and coral reefs. During the juvenile stage, the fish are solitary creatures who prefer to stay hidden among rocks or corals. When they are adult, they mostly live singly or in pairs. The sailfin species is one of the largest members of the genus Zebrasoma. They get along great with other tank mates quite peacefully, although they can be territorial in nature towards similar-looking fish. The sailfin tang helps keep corals healthy by preventing overgrowth of algae by feeding around them. Sailfin tangs can reach approximately 15 inches, so have a large aquarium ready for them because they do get quite large. They are generally reef safe, focusing its grazing primarily on algae rather than coral polyps. However, providing a balanced diet of algae-based foods is recommended to support their nutritional needs. Remember that the sailfin tang is herbivorous. They rely on algae and plant matter for nutrition, offering a variety of marine pellets, seaweed sheets, and fresh greens ensures their dietary requirements are met. And that is this week's saltwater fish of the week, the gorgeous sailfin tang. And here is a quick video showing you how gorgeous the sailfin tang can be.
Experience the powers of Thor. Enter a pin from a specially marked Dr. Pepper for your chance to win one of 3 superpowers, flight, speed, or strength. Details at drpepper.ca.
Joe Thornton wasn't happy on his last shift, and he had right to be here. He goes to the net, and you're going to see a high stick here from Alex Martinez. Catch Thornton right on the side of the face. His stick goes over close to the referee, Brian Pochmera. And then Joe...
So as you just saw, the sailfin tang is a very beautiful saltwater fish, one of my favorite saltwater fish. All right, let's get to our final topic for this week's episode. And right now, I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite Central American cichlids. My first favorite Central American cichlid is one that I currently have right now, and that is the Parachromis managuense, the jaguar cichlid. My second favorite Central American cichlid is one we're going to see in a couple of minutes here. That is the red devil cichlid. My dad has a red devil, and my friend Jeremy Stellhorn has a red devil cichlid as well. They're definitely an intelligent and gorgeous fish. My third favorite Central American cichlid is a beast. It is the doveye, followed by the Trimac and the Jack Dempsey. Those are my 5 favorite Central American cichlids. You got to love these Central American cichlids. They are definitely outstanding. So tonight we had Jeremy Leighty on the show to talk about Parachromis. Well, in 2 weeks, Jeremy is going to be back, and Jeremy is going to join me to talk about another Central American cichlid.
Friday, July 19th, 2024. Live on Friday Live with Aqua Alex. I am proud to welcome Jeremy Leighty back as my featured fish-keeping guest. Jeremy and I will be discussing another popular Central American cichlid genus and one of my favorites. We will be discussing Amphilopas cichlids. Amphilopas cichlids include the gorgeous red devil cichlid, Midas cichlid, and Trimac cichlid. Join Aqua Alex and Jeremy for a fun discussion on Amphilopas and learn how to keep and care for them. See you on July 19, 2024. Live at 10 p.m. Eastern 7 p.m. Pacific on Friday live with Aqua Alex on YouTube channel The Real Alex Cardinale.
That's going to be an amazing interview in 2 weeks. And tonight we've had an amazing episode of Friday Live. Speaking of amazing, it's now time for my amazing fish. It's time for me to show off one of my personal fish in my collection. And tonight we're going to show off my true South American parrot cichlid that I got from Oasis Aquatics. This is my beautiful South American true parrot cichlid. Such a very colorful and beautiful fish. It is this week's awesome fish, Aqua Alex's amazing fish true parrot cichlid. This is the one that I own. Very, very beautiful fish. And that is my beautiful true parrot cichlid. All right, it's been a great episode tonight, but next week on Friday Live with Aqua Alex, we're going to celebrate Shark Week. Here's what you can look forward to next Friday. On the next Friday Live with Aqua Alex, Shark Week continues. Aqua Alex will discuss what species of sharks can be kept in the home aquarium. Aqua Alex will also discuss his top 5 favorite African cichlids and his top 5 favorite South American cichlids. Jesse from Salient Aquatics will be our special guest featured fish keeper. Aqua Alex's featured fish will be the common pleco. The South American fish of the week will be the silver dollar. The saltwater fish of the week will be the Picasso trigger. Aqua Alex's amazing fish will be the tinfoil bar, and so much more. Don't miss a loaded Friday Live Friday, July 12th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on YouTube channel, The Real Alex Cardinale. All right, it's time for our final segment here on Friday Live with Aqua Alex, and it's time for this week's featured fish keeper. This week I am featuring my friend Jeremy Stellhorn's beautiful Cichlid aquarium, and we're going to see just how aggressive red devils can be. Here is Jeremy Stellhorn's beautiful red devil. All right, a beautiful red devil from my friend Jeremy Stellhorn. All right, and now it's time for my closing remarks for this week's episode. Aqua Alex's aquarium message. So, the first thing I will say is to support your local fish stores. Check out your local fish stores and see if they have the fish that you want. It's always important to support your local fish stores. It keeps them in business. I have seen a lot of small mom and pop fish stores closing, so let's make sure we support them. Do your water changes and keep your water clean. Your fish will be happier and healthier that way. And enjoy the aquarium hobby. Do the aquarium hobby your way and keep fish the way you know and keep fish the way you enjoy. And that does it for tonight's episode of Friday Live with Aqua Alex. Special thank you to Jeremy Leighty for being an amazing guest. Special thank you to everyone who watched this episode. Whether you watched live or you're catching the replay, I appreciate your view. Please be sure to like this episode and share it on social media. Have a great rest of your Friday and have a great rest of your weekend. And I, Aqua Alex, will see you back next Friday. Good night, everybody.
Our next featured fish-keeping special guest is also a fish-keeping YouTuber. Jesse Klein from Salient Aquatics joins Aqua Alex Cardinale for a fun fish-keeping discussion. How did Jesse get into the fish-keeping hobby? What is his favorite fish? What is he keeping for fish? Find out live Friday, July 12, 2024, at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Friday Live with Aqua Alex. Get ready for a fun Friday night fish discussion with Jesse and Aqua Alex July 12, 10 p.m. on the Eastern side and 7 p.m. on the Pacific side. Thank you for watching this live stream on the Real Alex Cardinale YouTube channel. We hope you enjoyed today's live stream. Whether you learned about tropical fish, a crime, an American tragedy, or had fun on Saturday Live, your view is what keeps the great content coming. Thank you for supporting Alex Cardinale and watching this live. It's hard to believe we are quickly approaching 11 years together. Get ready for a big 11-year celebration taking place in New Jersey. Special thanks to our sponsor Oasis Aquatics for helping our channel grow. Looking for quality tropical fish? Check out oasisaquaticsnj.com. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Share this video on social media and let your friends view too. Remember, sharing is caring. Subscribe for more awesome videos. Thanks for watching and stay legendary. Goodbye for now. We will see you on the next live.